What is going on YouTube? Today's video, I'm going to show you guys real quick what system you should buy. Should it be the PS4 Pro or should it be a PS4 Slim? Coming up. Welcome to Tech Savvy Bar, guys. Again, if you're new to the channel, I do all kinds of gaming reviews. I do all kinds of console reviews, PC builds, all kind of tech stuff. So if you like my stuff, do consider subscribing. So now the big question that I get all the time is, should I buy a PS4 Slim or should I buy a PS4 Pro? Now, it's actually pretty simple, and I'm going to try and keep this as simple as possible so it's not super complicated, because I know I get all kinds of audience and different types of people that ask me the same question. So it really just comes down to what you're looking for, who you're buying this for, if it's yourself or somebody else. So let's start off with the basics, right? What does the PS4 Pro actually offer over the PS4 Slim, given that it is $100 more expensive? So number one, you get a GPU that's much more powerful, okay? You have a CPU that's about 30% more powerful. You have the ability to stream Ultra HD apps directly from your system, like Netflix and Hulu TV and all that other kind of stuff that you want in 4K. Games get a much better resolution due to the fact that it's got a better GPU. Of course, not all games are native 4K. And, you know, that's one thing to keep in mind. It does use a checkerboarding technique to kind of upscale, and most games kind of operate around 1440p to 1800p. And there are still some games that do come out in native 4K. Then again, most of them run at 30 frames per second. So you're not really getting a huge improvement over the base PS4. There is an improvement, I'm not going to deny that. There's definitely improvement, and to someone who can compare both and look at them side by side, you'll definitely see that difference. But it really comes down to, what is it for you? What is it that really makes you want to buy it? You know, it really comes down to what's good for you. So the other thing that it also offers over the base PS4, the PS4 Slim, is that you have an extra USB port. So you've got one in the back, and you know, it offers better performance on the PSVR, which is kind of marginal. It's not a huge difference. Again, there's a bunch of videos out there. Digital Foundry's done a good job at putting some videos out there to do comparisons of the PSVR experience. Road to VR is another great website that also does a good amount of detailed analysis on the functionality of the PSVR on both systems. So while I'm not going to say there's no difference, there is a difference, but it's not super huge that you'd be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Okay, you get an optical port. I think they've taken that out of the PS4 Slim, so you have, you know, just an optical port that you can use if you're routing audio through a soundbar that way and you're not using the HDMI ARC functionality. And of course, because it is a 4K capable, you know, device, at this point you get HDMI 2.0. So now that I've got all that technical stuff aside, let's talk about what it actually means, right? What does the extra GPU power do for you? What does the extra CPU power do for you? And to be honest, it's okay. I mean, I'm not going to say it's huge, and I'm not going to say it's very marginal. You get a couple of cool features that, you know, are debatable. So you get boost mode, which basically is using the PS4 Pro's power in like a brute force kind of way to make games that have not been patched by developers to run with higher frame rates. Again, there's plenty of videos out there where you could see the test results for yourself. Personally, I don't think there's a huge difference in any of those, to be honest. I think there is a difference, but it's not something that would convince me to go out and buy this. Again, you get that boosted functionality in PSVR. You can look those up as well. Not something huge in my book. Super sampling, another one that was a key feature. Now this is kind of hit or miss, and here's why. There's some games that take good advantage of the ability to do super sampling, and then there's some games that don't take advantage. So let's take, you know, let's take one example from a video that Digital Foundry did. They looked at Assassin's Creed, the Ezio collection, which is Assassin's Creed 2, and I think the Revelations, that were upscaled in native 4K. So one of the titles that do play native 4K, if you have a 4K TV, and it runs at a locked 30 frames per second. When you switch on super sampling mode, it just brings it down to 1080p, but it still stays locked at 30 frames per second. So what's the benefit of doing that? If you ask me, there's really no benefit of doing that. I would only suggest someone to go and buy the PS4 Pro over a PS4 Slim if you already have ventured into the 4K market. When I say ventured into a 4K market, what I mean to say is, like, you've already been one of those people that's adopted a 4K TV in your house. You're starting to get into using all different types of devices in your house that are 4K capable. You might have an AV system that's 4K as well. And, you know, even if you're subscribed to like a Netflix or another type of streaming app for different kinds of TV shows and whatnot, you have the 4K package for that as well. That's where I actually truly see the value in picking up a PS4 Pro over a PS4 Slim. Again, like the PS4 Slim does offer HDR as well, and HDR itself makes games look really, really good. So if you're able to get a non 4K TV that has HDR in it, the PS4 Slim actually does a really good job. You know, the other reason I would say you could pick one of these up is if you're really fully invested into getting the absolute best VR experience that you can out of a console. Again, like this was designed in mind with PSVR. They wanted to give a better performance. Again, and I'll repeat this, it's not a huge marginal difference. There is a difference, but if you're one of those people that really wants to look at things with a super detailed eye, you'll notice it. Again, it's not huge, but you'll notice it. So if you're one of those people that really cares about resolution and you have an eye for detail, you really care about getting the best performance that you can out of a system, and you want to stay on the PlayStation format, you want to stay on this basic gaming platform that you've got, then I would recommend you go for it. And even then, I would say wait till you can buy it for $350 because it regularly does come on sale when there's different events or different holidays. Or, you know, one of the things I like to do on this channel is really try and help you guys get a good deal when you buy stuff like this. So I wouldn't say to anyone that it makes sense in 2018 to go and spend $400 on a PS4 Pro at this point. Now, I would say definitely wait for those bundles to come. If you are going to spend $400, I know right around Black Friday time, they drop the price of the system, or if they don't, they add some other things in there that kind of make the deal sweeter. If none of those things meet your aim and you really want one, then I would suggest make sure you've got a 4K setup, because that's where you're thoroughly going to enjoy the system. So if you've got the 4K setup, you've got an extra $100 to burn, go for the PS4 Pro, absolutely. You won't regret it if you're one of those people that's really looking for that. Now, for the people who want to buy the PlayStation platform, get access to all the exclusive games, be able to still stream Netflix and are not so worried about 4K, you still have, you know, the 1080p TVs, you're not fully invested in getting a 4K setup at this point, go for the PS4 Slim. Save yourself some money, definitely go for the PS4 Slim. You're not missing out on a huge, huge difference. And for you to really notice the difference, of course, you need to have the systems to support it. I'm not one of those people that would advise a person with a 1080p setup to go and buy a Pro, because I don't think that there's a huge enough benefit to doing that and it's worth spending the money. And again, as on Black Friday, like I mentioned, that the Pro gets cheaper, so does the PS4. You can snag one of those for about $200 and they come with an extra controller sometimes, or they come with some games. Really just depends. Keep an eye out for those. But if you're really like sold on wanting to buy either of them, doesn't matter which one you pick at this point, I would always say look for those things on like Facebook Marketplace. You'd be surprised at how much stuff you can get for cheap on there, even in new condition. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's used. If you're okay buying a used system, make sure you check out your local pawn shops. There's always stuff available for you to buy stuff at a pawn shop. You'd be surprised the amount of things that I've actually picked up from a pawn shop just because someone sold it there that was in need of cash. So it's a good place to go and find different kinds of deals. And last but not least, you can always look on different apps like Letgo or Offerup and all these other different platforms where people are selling their things. So be patient. If you really want a deal and want to get something cheap, use one of those platforms yourself. Now, I would recommend, so those people who are like looking to buy a gift for someone, or it's your kid's birthday and you want to buy a new console for them and you're kind of debating which one should I get, go with the Slim. If you're getting it for someone as a gift who doesn't, again, have all that 4K setup, go with the Slim. Save yourself cash. They'll still be happy that they're getting the console that's able to play all of those exclusives that the Sony PlayStation 4 platform is currently offering that the Xbox is not. So you'll still get access to all that stuff. So it's not really worth going and spending the additional $100 on the PS4 Pro in a case like that. Again, you know, each person, your situation kind of varies, so don't take what I say 100% literally, just kind of think for yourself. I'm trying to give you guys pointers on what I use to facilitate my decision. You know, part of my channel's name is Tech Savvy Buyer, and I look for different ways to buy things cheaper. It's what I do for a living. I try and make sure that I can find the best deals that I can on anything that I'm trying to get. So I just want to share that with you guys, and I want you guys to really open your mind before you go out and make that decision, that you're getting what's worth it to you, all the features that I listed out, if those really matter to you, and if you have the budget to allow for it, then go for the one that's more expensive. But then again, always try and save some money as you can, because it does add up in the long run. So that pretty much brings me to the end of this. I hope this was helpful for some of those people who've been debating, you know, should I go with the Slim? Should I go with the Pro? I try to list out all the different pros and cons of doing it. And really the biggest con is just paying the extra money and not being able to take advantage of the hardware if you don't have the setup for it. That's really the main thing. So in a nutshell, you wouldn't want the Pro if you don't have a 4K TV and if you don't have the extra money to do it. But if you get a good deal, go for it. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you did like this and this was helpful and you like to see stuff like this let me know in the comment section below. Leave a thumbs up if you like it. And if you are new and you like this content, do consider subscribing. It really does help my channel grow. Now, if you are interested in buying any one of these, like as soon as possible, and money's not an issue, I've got links in the description below so you can pick it off of Amazon. For those of you guys who don't have a Prime account with Amazon and won't be able to take advantage of the 2-day shipping, or the generous return policy that Amazon has, I would advise go ahead and get a trial of it started at least and kind of see the benefits of it. It's really awesome for people who don't have Amazon Prime. And again, one of the cool things by going through Amazon is that you get that generous return policy that you might not get at game stores. So I don't know if you can go to a GameStop and buy one and be able to return it if there's an issue with it, or if you just don't like it. With Amazon, at least you get that 30-day return window. So if it turns out you're not interested in it, you can go ahead and return it. But nonetheless, like I said, for you guys out there that have been holding out and kind of deciding which one to get, hope this helps. And until then, guys, I'll see you on my next one.